Hey, I think so. Don't know. Hey,
we are. Okay. Applause.
more.
Hello, everyone. Oh, Lee's playing with buttons you shouldn't be playing with, chat. Just confirming the chat, we're definitely there. We're not going mad. Hopefully we're not having one of those technical difficulties, GV News production and all that. But
everything looks okay.
If so, welcome everybody to the Snowflake Show. I'm your
no, I should have the
co-host,
applause
Regan
there
Lee.
now. Should have the applause there.
What?
I should have the applause there.
Oh, you just ruined my
Sorry.
You just ruined my mojo there. I was just going.
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna have to do it all again now. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Snowflake Show. It is season 2, episode 5. I'm your co-host, Regan Elite, alongside.
Oh God.
He's forgotten his name. His name is Lee Cord, everyone.
I was reading something else. I wasn't focusing.
He's having one of those. He's having one of those mere days, guys. Over the next hour, guys, we're going to give you the latest news, views, and share some funny bones and good, warm-hearted stories with you all. Lee, are you there?
I am. I'm just looking at the chat. It seems not. Can everybody confirm? Because Number 3 says, "What's that noise?" I think it was the crowd, but
might have been that applause.
So it might have been the applause. Yeah. So we'll just go through. Yeah, I'm okay. You know, everybody's been ill at home. Been a quiet week in the news again, but just check see who's in the chat then. Lefty Boaters here. Evening everyone. Evening Lefty. Stu's here. I Stu. Ben Shaw. Hi Ben. Some guy called Regan Elite. I don't know who he is. Ginger's Giraffes is here. I know. Number 3. He's like a troll. You can't get rid of him. That's Ginger Giraffe. Number 3. Ginger says you're live. Number 3 says, "What's that noise?" All Shorts. Hi, All Shorts. Hi, Marcus. You're right.
Hey, All Shorts. Welcome back. Came back today on YouTube, guys.
Sorry, he was back on YouTube. Back causing mayhem on YouTube.
Yep.
Getting very close to the edge of what is acceptable now on YouTube, but there you go. Number 3 says, "I'm joking." Oh, thank God for that. So it wasn't. It's just that nothing was happening in the chat. I'm thinking, it's all going wrong. Duke Vengeance says, "Knights of the Woke Blizzard." Yes, the blizzard is still here.
It's too cold still.
Yeah.
You must know, Duke.
Stu says, "I know All Shorts have been released from jail." Yes, from YouTube jail.
Yeah, he on the Monopoly table when he's in jail, you've got to either roll the dice or pay his way out, and he just paid his way out at the end.
Unless you got one of those chance cards we get out of jail free card. Yeah. Yeah, so how's things with you?
Yeah, not too bad. Got a few snippet notes. Just going to run through with you guys. Just been what's been happening the last week. There's a good chance I might have missed 1 or 2 stories, but just going to run through them quickly. So obviously,
okay. Wait.
News.
You forgot that bit. I need that bit. Right.
Oh,
okay.
We didn't use that bit last time. We did score snippet news, but let's just let's talk about the big devastating news that's taking place that the world's talking about right now. So I'm sure you guys are aware the devastating, horrible earthquake that has taken place between Turkey, alongside in Turkey and Syria. Obviously, the death toll is still continuing to rise. So far, from last I checked, it was up to 12,000 lives have been lost, and it is still increasing. We have in our description on the video, if you guys can.
Oh, sorry.
What's happened to me there?
Hang on.
It's been playing with buttons there.
Yeah.
We have in our description from the Red Cross appeal, is it?
Red Cross and UNICEF.
So both Red Cross and UNICEF, we have donation links here to them, guys. So if you can spare anything here to help them in any way, shape, or form, we would very much appreciate it. And obviously, on behalf of the Snowflake Show, we want to extend our condolences to everybody out there who is greatly suffering right now, and hopefully they can, lots nations from all over the world are pretty much going in to trying to help get those people out there as quickly as possible.
Mm.
Um,
So if you can,
so
if you are able to donate, please do. There'll
yeah,
be those. There'll be other appeals, but those are two that we saw. We've put links on
yeah.
straight.
So some other news, obviously, from just go for a couple of things. So obviously, the big news, obviously, in America was the State of the Union speech from Joe Biden. I'll just cover. I did watch. Didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched some snippets of it. So some key moments of it was basically he talked about uh, the about Healthcare Act, retirement programs, announcing that he would sign executive orders for to aid for police reform, because obviously police reform is really a problem. Call to ban for assault rifles. He also talked about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the country's relationship with China. I think there was an amendment that he passed recently. I think it was after the union speech he got with the Republicans to agree upon as well. It was seen as actually a positive speech for Biden and the Democrats, because they've been their ratings have not been very good. They've been very rocky lately. So it was a good speech. I've been told, from what I've been told. Um, there's a couple of other things as well. There was a story from, obviously, I'm sure you guys have been aware, there was obviously the announcements of record breaking profits from the oil companies again. There was a story a few days ago from Open Democracy about BP, Shell, Exxon, Mobil, and Co. bagged over 1 billion handouts in profits as well, as a few from as well. So apparently, we're still giving them lots of money, even though they're on profits. There's also, obviously, I'm sure you guys have been aware, everyone's been talking about it, the spy balloon. Um, Two spy balloons, actually. Bit of a. What's your thoughts on this whole spy balloon saga, Lee?
It's a bit odd, isn't it? But I don't know whether he shot. I was reading he shot one down, and then
Yeah, they shot one
then
down, didn't
but
they?
they were hoping to retrieve it so they can find out what he was actually doing. But it seems to have disappeared. Nobody can find it. So, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a bit of an odd way to spy using spy balloons because they're so obvious what they are, and they're just floating about in the where
The
planes
thing
are flying
is
and things
that
like that.
someone pointed out, well, that's what Google Earth is for.
Yeah, doesn't give you real time though, does it? Google Earth. Otherwise, everybody just use that.
um, so yeah, bit of a weird story, really, wasn't it? To be
Yeah.
fair. So just a couple of other things. So this the UK. So a think tank is predicting. This is from Sky News. They had the UK to swerve recession, but a quarter of our homes will face a cost of living struggle. Apparently, so we may dodge a recession, but
Mm,
still doesn't change the fact that we're still all suffering as a
yeah.
result of this, so the government and this whole cost of living crisis. Another small story I saw from the Mirror.
Just
I
going
think
back
it
to that,
was
I don't know if
today.
you. Sorry, just going back to that. Have you got Liz Truss? Are you going to mention Liz Truss in this?
I forgot that one. Dizzy Lizzie.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
because she's
she's
just popped up
planning a
out of
comeback of
nowhere.
some sort, isn't
Oh yeah,
she?
it was brilliant. She says, "What we need is more intellectuals in the party," and you're like, oh.
Okay.
She's classing it in that she's classing herself as an intellectual. And there's very
Oh,
few
I thought she was
people.
classing a robot as an
No, there's
intellectual. I
very
didn't know
few
she
people.
counts. She qualified as one.
Few people would actually class her as intellectual. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, that was
I,
interesting. She
on a scale of 1 to 10, I would not put her on the high end of artificial of intelligence.
no,
For that, but
I think basically what's happened is what it seems to me is that the think tanks, the uh, what is it, IEA, and others
yeah.
from Tufton Street have basically gone right. Who can we get to replace Liz Truss? And there's like nobody in the party that they could actually who's stupid enough to go, yeah, I'll carry on talking about that and talking about trickle down economics and all the rest. So they're gone, Liz, you're gonna have to go back in. We need someone in there still talking about this nonsense. Exactly, Port Market says all sorts. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what they said. They said there's nobody in there. That is a disgrace. That's stupid.
We need her to talk more about the pork markets.
But yeah. So I think
Yeah.
they're scraping the barrel, and the only
Yeah.
person at the bottom of that barrel is her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, Dizzy Lizzy is. There was a what?
But
There
she
was
wouldn't. Sorry, the
a
point
group of.
she won't apologise for the state what she's done to the economy. As far as she's
Oh no, of
concerned,
course
it was
not.
all
And
fine. It's
she
just that
regrets sacking. Uh, um, what was Chancellor's name?
Kwasi
Uh,
Kwarteng.
Thank you. Yes, that's yeah.
Yes.
She don't regret it. She regrets it deeply,
Yeah.
and wish she'd never done it.
Right.
So stupid.
But she blamed it on the lefty economic establishment.
Yes, because it was absolutely them. It was those. It was the Labour, the lefties, the EU. They were all responsible for her being pushed out, even though
socialist,
they had
Marxist.
absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, those Marxist, socialist,
Mm.
city traders and investment bankers, hedge fund managers, bastards. Bloody lefty liberal wokerati.
Yeah, definitely lefties.
I bet they love
troublemakers.
tofu, them lot. That's what it is.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, these porcupines trust as number 3. Yeah, sorry. Go on, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted your flow.
Let me just run through these quick other stories, guys. So there was another story from the Mirror, I think it was today or yesterday, saying that the Department for Work and Pensions has sparked fury with plans to shut down 20 job centres in the UK, throwing dozens on the dole, which is absolutely horrible story for some people who can't even afford internet at home and they're not even going to be able to go to their job centre.
Yeah.
So horrible story there. Just one story outside in the world from Uganda. This was today I saw. Uganda has been condemned for a shameful decision to close one of its United Nations human rights offices. That's a story I published on the Discord server if you guys want to see more on that. It's and finally, there was a video footage popped up by The Guardian. I don't know if you have seen it, Lee, of Ukraine that released a video appearing to show Russian troops beating their own wounded officer.
Yeah, I did see it. I mean, yeah, you still got to tell because it's kind of hidden behind the shed, so you don't know what they're doing. But the suggestion is that they took one of the officers, possibly their officer, Wagner Group soldiers took their officer, who was injured, took him behind one of the sheds and, well, killed him with shovels. Apparently,
I haven't played the clip, but I
yeah,
saw
I don't really
read the article on it. I might have to put mute for a second because I might be about to sneeze.
Okay,
So
I'll take your screen.
Who else is in the chat? Yeah, who else is in the chat, Lee? Because we've got some new faces there.
Yeah, so I'll just go through the chat, and then I'll just if you want to mute yourself while you sneeze, that's fine. That was a good sneeze. Good sneeze.
You did not put that on live stream,
No.
so thank you for that.
Charlie Rat says, "Good evening, folks." Number 3 says, "I'm feeling a bit low myself." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Number 3. You hopefully can cheer you up a little bit. You, Zebediah Thomas is here. Hi, Marcus. Kendra's here. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Kendra. And then it's everybody saying hi to everybody between each other. Ginger's Giraffe says, "I don't watch the State of the Union." I say Ben Shaw's here as well before. Ben's here, yeah. Don't watch the State of the Union. I prefer to read it later. Okay. And then Ginger's, I posted on Discord a video of the history of spy balloons. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'll
just
look
in case you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Kendra's there as well. Hello, Kendra, and all the stream has just frozen. Oh, it's back.
You're back, yeah.
Yeah, the stream's been jumping up and down just there.
Has it? Why it says why use a balloon when they have satellites? Let me check. No, the computer isn't using the bandwidth. I didn't realize.
Can you just confirm the stream is okay? Because it did freeze for a couple of seconds.
Oh, it says YouTube's not really receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open the widget. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Stream status poor. Let me just have a quick look see if I can have a look at my settings here very quickly. Fixing technical problems.
Apologies for this, guys. A few technical problems. We got a few. Before we'll dive into it, just while Lee's just checking, see if we got some stuff
dropped
on.
Right down. For some reason.
There's some stuff on the. So more. Basically, inside corruption. Obviously, we still have Russians Russian money still inside London, inside the UK, and we got some stuff got some news regarding that, mainly from Open Democracy, who do a wonderful job undercovering this stuff. So cross fingers, we don't have it will be running all right. Please just double checking that we can talk about that. We'll also briefly touch on the cabinet reshuffle as well, because obviously that happened as well during the week. And we do have some good warm-hearted stories, guys, to take you away from everything bad that's been going on as well lately. So cross fingers, we appear to be okay.
Yeah, it seems to be going back up now. I think a bit of a drop out in signal for some reason. Don't know why. It's not quite as good as it. It's saying excellent now. Stream status excellent, so
right.
That's good. I didn't realise I'm with Virgin Media. I've got gigabit broadband, but it only gives you 50 meg up. Sorry, which is pretty pathetic. It's like 5% of what you.
Yeah, so tweet at Virgin Media, guys, and give them your frustrations.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we jump into the news, Lee? I think.
Yeah. Have we already done that?
Everything seems to be okay according to.
Are we up to date with the chat?
Just said.
Yeah, buffering now again.
Yeah.
What difference do you think it would make? No, it's all fine now. Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
Right. Yeah, apologies, guys.
Right, let's get back onto this then.
Okay, so this is from Open Democracy. This is it's about quite old, but I think it's one we really need to highlight because we have some video footage as well that we'll play a bit later. So the UK government has helped sanction Putin's allies. Sue the British journalist. So UK Treasury, then under Rishi Sunak's control, let Jesus, I'll say that now. I'm not going to say that name. Circumcise sanctions to target Elliot Higgins. So the UK government helped the boss of Russian murderous mercenary army to circumvent its own sanctions and launch a target legal attack on a British journalist. Open Democracy can reveal. Yevgeny
Prigozhin.
It's the founder of Wagner, a private army that the US government last week announced that would designate a transnational criminal organization, allowing it to impose even tougher sanctions on the group. For years, it has been accused of human rights abuses and war crimes in Ukraine and across the world in support of Putin's regime. Sanctions introduced in the UK and Europe in 2020 were supposed to prevent anyone from doing business with Peruzing. He has also been sanctioned in the US in 2018. But vast caches of hacked emails showed that under the leadership of Rishi Sunak, the UK Treasury issued special licenses in 2021 to let the oligarchs override sanctions and launch an aggressive legal campaign against journalists in the London courts.
Yeah, so this is a couple of weeks old, this article, but there's a point to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah. So the notorious Liberal suit against Elliot Higgins personally followed revelations by his website Bellying Cat about Wagner's shadowy operations was part of Peruzim's strategy to undermine the sanctions against him. The case collapsed in March 2022 in the aftermath of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but key details of how the sanctions oligarchs were able to pursue the legal attacks have remained secret till now. So this is some of the key things here. So an investigation by Democracy have found that the government had granted licenses for a British law firm to work on the case and approved key steps along the way. Sanctions prevented Peruzing from coming to London, but the UK government gave permission for his British lawyers to fly business class to St. Petersburg so they can meet face to face and finalise their legal attacks on Higgins. Peruzing paid his London lawyers directly via wire transfer from Russia, causing the UK bank to initially withhold funds due to sanctions. The London case was a key plank of his strategy to thwart the global sanctions.
Yeah, so apparently they allowed the money to go through, even though they'd blocked it. We then said, "Oh, we're giving you." I've forgotten the phrase they used for it, but they basically allowed him to bypass sanctions. So
yeah,
like I said, this was from a couple of weeks ago, but since then, I think this is yesterday in a committee meeting. This is what this is the minister when he was being questioned about this. This is his response.
What do you think, Minister? Do you think it was correct?
Well, it's not for me to say.
You're a minister.
It's not for me to say.
You have an opinion.
It's not for me to say.
You have no opinion.
What assessment have you made as to the extent to which Wagner is helping circumvent and evade sanctions that have been put in place by HMG?
I've got no specific knowledge of that. Ben, do you want to comment? No.
I don't have any evidence of that.
No knowledge of it. Does that mean because we haven't asked the question, because we're not tracking it, or because we genuinely have had no evidence of issues yet?
I don't specifically know about that. I'm sure that the department is tracking that, but I don't have any particular knowledge of it.
The Treasury issued waivers to sanctions
Yes.
that allowed Prigozhin to fly his lawyers to St. Petersburg
Yeah.
to perfect a case to sue Elliot Higgins in an English court because Elliot Higgins had revealed Prigozhin's role at the head of the Wagner Group, and Prigozhin wanted to undermine that story because he felt that story had led to sanctions being imposed.
Yeah.
Do you want to just take this opportunity to apologise to Mr. Higgins for Her Majesty's government having issued that sanctions waiver?
The Treasury ministers are considering this approach and considering whether or not change is possible.
Do you want to take this opportunity to apologise to Mr. Higgins?
Well, I don't think that's probably. I don't think it's useful for me to comment on the specific case. I think it's useful for me to make a comment about our general approach, which I've done.
So, just won't apologise. Won't go into basically use the get out phrase of we don't comment on specific cases, which is what Rishi Sunak did in PMQs a couple of weeks back when these questions came up initially. So yeah, it just shows Sorry, is the stream still
Lee,
working?
can you hear me? I think I've lost you there.
Have you? Hello?
Uh,
Can you hear me?
testing. I think I just froze there for a second.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Lee.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. My Wi-Fi is not showing on my thing. That's why I'm a bit concerned because I've got a thing that shows how Wi-Fi is doing. It's not actually showing it. But you're here. I can see you, so it must be working to some extent.
Yeah.
And it says
Yeah,
excellent
really sorry
connection.
about this chat. Definitely having a connection issues today.
Yeah, I've got.
But we all have them at some
Stream is
point.
healthy.
So
I got not receiving. Yeah, so it might have froze for a second there.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so it just shows that they gave a waiver to Prigozhin, and Prigozhin is the guy head of the Wagner Group, going around recruiting prisoners to use them as cannon fodder in the war in the east of Ukraine. And the other day they said over 1,000 Russian troops were killed in one single day. In the battle, I think mainly around Bakhmut. So, yeah. What?
Yeah, massive corruption, and it's just a case of use ridiculous, and I don't know. Like the only way we're going to start getting this cleared is with a Labour government. It's the only way I can see us getting anything solved here, because the problem is that that committee meeting, there's nothing really they can do. They can press on the questions, but they don't have to answer.
Yeah,
there's kind of hamstrung here, which is really, really bad for us, and it's really undermined the whole of the day as well. It can this overshadowing. Well, it's behind the shadows of what's going on, with the Zelenskyy here in the UK as we speak. So it's not painting a very nice picture, that's for sure.
Yeah, and what you're saying there as well. So do you want to watch this video?
Yeah, so we got a clip, obviously, from Zelenskyy and Sunak were taking questions, and a Ukrainian journalist had a very interesting question, didn't?
what are your steps to clear the reputation of London as a city that is still laundering Russian money? Thank you.
And with regard to sanctions, I think we've, as you saw at the beginning of this conflict, I used to be the finance minister, and we put in place, the President talked about it earlier today, probably the most extensive and forward-leaning sanctions package of any country at the beginning of this conflict to demonstrate very clearly that Russia's aggression was unacceptable and we would punish them in every which way we could. We've announced further sanctions today, but continually when it comes to sanctions, we have, I think, led. And you remember the conversations we had on things like SWIFT and banks right at the beginning of this conflict. Again, it was Britain that led the way in pushing for very strict sanctions, and as I said, we've announced further today. And wherever we can continue, to tighten them and do more, we will look to do so, as we have done today. Next.
Sorry.
He's literally like the Ukrainian president is literally right there, and he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I don't care what you think. Like, that's embarrassing for him. Like, his country's at war, and it's like, if I'm him, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's, I mean, it's like I said before, the Russia, the EU has had some problems with money coming in from Qatar, and they basically got to grips with it straight away once they found out, and the legal process going through. Over here, they buried the Russia report into money coming in from oligarchs and where that was going and what the impact was, and they just buried everything. And contacts between members of the government and the party and Russian oligarchs and former KGB members and all sorts. All this stuff is out there. Excuse me. Nobody's doing anything about it.
No, it's just and the thing is that what's interesting is that correct me if I'm wrong, Lee, I haven't seen anything like this from any of the other media outlets. I mean, I ran through pretty much all of them today, and there's nothing about this whatsoever. I mean, most of this is, Guardian has covered a few snippets of obviously Ukrainian corruption and cleansing of that which we've covered before, but I don't even think they've touched this story, and I could be wrong on that. It's very worrying.
Yeah, it's our democracy has been completely infected with corruption, from the top to the bottom in terms of the Tory party. And what happened with the PPE scandal, but as well, all these things are just wherever there's money, it seems like the Tory MPs will just keep stum and avoid questions about it. I mean, I didn't answer the question there. He just talked about sanctions. Duke says emphasis is still operating in Russia, and who's one of the major shareholders a major shareholder in it? The UK Prime Minister's wife. If that isn't corrupt, then I don't know what it is.
Hypocrisy is staggering. I know, Gingers. It is absolutely staggering. Blood money. Of course, it's blood money. We know it's blood money. Yeah. Yes, he's still profiteering from Russian money. Yeah,
you're right, Allshores. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Ken just says. I think
allegedly, we'll say just for legal reasons. We'll say allegedly.
Well, let's just say they put it this way: Sunak's wife is profiting from Russian money. That's the profiteering from Russian money because she's a shareholder in Emphasis, which is still operating in Russia. So there's nothing in that is not known. Ginger says it's all that snow that's causing stuff. Yeah, this snow, it gets into everything.
It hasn't stopped snowing since Christmas.
Lefty Boater says it wouldn't be the Snowflake Show without technical difficulties. Yeah, that's true. It's usually me though, me just pressing the wrong button or something. But this time it just seems to be the internet. I don't know. Context is here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Digital Life.
Hello, Context. Good to see you.
So good, you're free again. Yep, free from. Why not? I can't use that word. I can just use naughty words. Bust some things. to the list too.
Mm.
But it isn't Rishi's money; it's his wife's, and he has nothing to do with it. That's it. It's amazing, isn't it? You know, Rishi Sunak's wife's money. It's nothing to do with him apart from the.
Yeah, and if he gets pressed on that question, he's basically saying, "Well, my wife can do whatever she wants." It's
That's fine, but
Yeah.
under in tax, if you're living together, and you're married, all your tax affairs are all linked. So yeah, so that's nonsense for starters. Thanks, Missy, for buying me those 400 quid shoes. Oh yeah. The FT has produced a plan to return to the EU. It seems. I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that. I want to. Well, I need to read that article on the phone.
Yeah, we haven't really touched,
very interesting.
We haven't touched on that this week but it's like since last week when there was the third anniversary, definitely been a lot of talk of rejoining, and Brexiteers panicking a bit because they can see it all collapsing. Even I think the Daily Mail, Daily Express says was it the Telegraph actually said that
it was the Telegraph.
Yeah, said we're gonna rejoin faster than anybody realizes, which is I'll be happy with that. But
we're a long way off from that, and
Yeah.
we're certainly got and it won't start. The process won't. It's a long way off from even like people can talk about it and say we want to go back and everything, but we've got to vote. You got to vote with. You got to vote at the polls if we really want to change it. It's all well and good kicking and screaming, but if we're not going to vote, it's not going to make a difference.
Apart from in Scotland, the two major parties both talking about both ignoring Brexit. Done dusted as far as they're concerned. I think Keir Starmer is keeping his powder dry. He knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, it comes across not very well. But anyway, shall we cheer ourselves up with some Matt Green talking about his reshuffle?
Our best friend Matt Green, guys. He's got some stuff to tell us about.
He looks like he's asleep.
Undeterred by the precedent of the mini-budget, Rishi Sunak has just announced a mini-reshuffle. So, Minister, there are now 4 new government departments. That's right, you can't say that this government doesn't care about creating jobs, as long as they're for ministers. Exactly. What's the rationale behind these changes? Well, Rishi is absolutely committed to making the UK a science and technology superpower. And what does that mean? I've no idea, I've only been minister for 5 minutes, but I imagine it's something to do with massive test tubes in the colours of the Union Jack. The Prime Minister said he wants a government driven by innovation. What kind of innovation? Well, Rishi believes that in order for this country to thrive, we need new ideas, such as electric vehicles. So are you happy about the collapsed British Volt factory, which has just been bought by an Australian company? Well, we've also got a new chairman and deputy chair. Yes, Lee Anderson has just been appointed deputy chair of the party, despite his many controversial statements. Do you feel comfortable with him in that role? Yes, Lee is a decent, ordinary, normal, salt-of-the-earth man. He said that nurses who use food banks just don't know how to budget, and he boycotted the England football team for taking the knee. Look, Lee is simply saying all of the awful things that the normal, ordinary, decent, ordinary, normal, salt-of-the-earth, working-class, normal, ordinary, decent, normal people of the Red Wall think. Sorry, did you say awful things? Yes, these ordinary, decent, normal, ordinary, working-class, salt-of-the-earth, ordinary, normal, decent, ordinary, decent, ordinary people may have some awful opinions, but that doesn't mean that they don't deserve representation. Is that not a bit patronising of your own voters? Come on, there's no way that all of them are going to end up voting for us again, so we may as well have some culture war fun. Plus, you never know, some of us might end up presenting our own TV. Some critics have described all of this as simply reshuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. In fact, that's actually an image that Lee Anderson himself used in a Conservative WhatsApp group. Well, yes, and if he were on the Titanic, I imagine he'd call the iceberg woke, as well as being the first one in the lifeboats. Thank you, Minister. Next up, as Liz Truss returns to public life with a 4,000-word essay that blames everything that went wrong in her Mayfly government on somebody else, we ask, why do the wrong people get imposter syndrome?
Apologies, guys. If it was stuttering there.
Stream jumping a bit there, but we got the gist of it anyway, so thank you, Matt Greg.
Yeah,
and he's kind of segueing into our next article, isn't he, as well? Which is the cabinet reshuffle. So thanks, Matt Green, for that segue. Really appreciate it.
Seamlessly.
So there's been a few changes to the cabinet, guys. I think the most interesting one, and who was it I was listening to? I think it was the Rest is Politics podcast where they were talking about Greg Hands, which I'm sure nobody here's ever heard of him.
No.
But he's been in the party he's been in the MP for quite a while, I believe. He's always been like there, always been loyal, sort of thing. He's never had a big role. And all of a sudden, this guy's just been thrown straight into it. And pretty much the main reason he's been thrown into it, according to Alistair and Roy Stewart from their podcast, they're basically saying Rishi Sunak hasn't got anyone to trust. So he's thrown this guy in there.
Yeah. Well, I think he's trying.
And also, they've also switched up some departments as well, which we'll get into in a moment.
Yeah, go on. Carry on. Regan, I jumped in there.
Yeah, so obviously they've broken up the so Graham Sharps is now energy security and net zero. So he was business and energy. He has now business and trade. She was business and trade, but they've broken up energy. So it used to be business, energy. Yeah, so they've broken up some departments there, and obviously, which is the timing is pretty WTF, I would say, because this is not a time for civil servants to be making changes in departments when they're trying to do their jobs and trying to, get some stuff sorted, get the country on its feet, if you know what I mean. This is just the wrong time to be shuffling around departments. The other changes there is Lucy is now culture, media, and sport. Michelle Donovan is science, innovation, technology, and she was culture secretary there. But that's the. Is there any other changes? Have I missed? No, that's it. So
I'm getting
not
sorry
really
if it's buffering,
just a mini reshuffle, to be fair, Lee.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a bit more buffering. Apologies. Yeah. I mean, Greg Hands and Lee Anderson. These are people who really shouldn't be in it. Well, I don't know about Greg Hands because I don't know anything about him. That's first of his name. But I think so. I've heard that people say that he's looking to shore up his support, and by bringing people from different parts of the party in putting them in senior positions. Because at the end of the day, the moment, the polls last week were like, I think the Tories were on 24%. I think Labour was on 51 or 25 and 51. I think it was, which will be an absolute wipeout for the Tories potentially, next if there's a general election. So a lot of these MPs are already saying they're not going to stand in the next election because they can't see how they'll win. So I think he's trying to keep people on the side. I don't think whoever you put in charge of the Tory party now would actually be able to resurrect it from the situation it's in. Maybe if they drag Boris back, but I don't think most of the people in the party would even want him back, or within the parliamentary party anyway.
Yeah, Lee Anderson has been put in there to help shore up the extreme right wing. That's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a crazy appointment. Everybody knows it's a bit crazy, but
also,
unfortunately, if he wants to try and keep this party government together, he's got to appease those he doesn't want.
I think James O'Brien was saying yesterday that that if Lee, what's his name, 30p Lee, is prime for moving to something like a UKIP type party, like Reform, or whatever name they have by the time they get to an election, and they could lose a lot of MPs to that type of party, if they think they're not going to lose a seat or whatever, and they'll be looking at something else. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit here. Right.
It's a bit of stuttering again there.
Yeah, I've got. It says excellent connection now. So Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be like that all string, guys.
Yeah,
We'll,
I'll have to. There's not a lot I can do. I'll try. I'll have a look at see if we can do something more. Just have a look at. I'm just looking at my internet speed or my connection speed. It's reasonable. I'll be getting about twice as fast as this today. Normally get.
Ding ding, round one, Lee, 1, 2, 3, knockout. Kia says 30p. I used to be a teacher, Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Best shares.
You know,
30p Lee should be nowhere near other people, says Nico. Absolutely.
Was he a teacher? I thought he was a miner, as in like coal miner. Not like a young person. I think it was the other guy. Who's the other guy? The one that looks like a bulldog. When he's just.
Oh God.
He was a teacher, wasn't he?
Oh,
he used to cry after lessons. He used to go in the staff room and cry. That's the sort of guy he is.
God,
Well, think of his name.
Someone in his chat will pop his name up. I'm sure.
Yeah, Gullis. That was it. And is it Andrew Gullis? Yeah, Jonathan Gullis. There you go. Yeah, he used to.
That's it. Thank you, Stu. Appreciate
after
it.
classes, he used to go in the staff room and cry. What a guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a department for net zero could be useful if it really works. Says number 3. Yeah.
Right. We'll jump into this one, which is an important message from the UK government.
That's a very important announcement,
Looking
guys.
for somewhere to invest your legitimately earned billions? Why not choose the United Kingdom? As the slowest growing economy in the Western world, including Russia, we're desperate for your money, and we'll let you do literally anything with it. You'll pay little or no tax, and with our famous bailouts, any money you do lose, we will cover it. Concerned that you'll be unable to buy your way into political power and influence public policy with your private wealth? Fear not. We're rapidly climbing the corruption index, and we've got Qatar in our sights. Anxious you'll get bad news coverage? It's fine. The world-renowned British press only focus on what really matters. We've set up our political system so that there's no true socialist representation. So, whoever's in power, your money is safe from anyone who might misguidedly suggest you use any of it to improve living standards in the United Kingdom. And we'll let you make record-breaking profits, even if a few old people have to die in their cold homes. Looking to launder your cash? We'll let you buy up huge swathes of our capital city, and you can keep those luxury flats empty, so you'll never be bothered by troublesome tenants. We've made sure that the famously apathetic British people won't be angry at you, because they're too busy fighting each other or working out how to buy food and keep warm. Worried they'll eventually figure it all out and rise up against you? No need to. We've banned all that. Invest in the United Kingdom, because we'll let you do whatever the fuck you want.
It's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true.
God damn it, Larry and Paul. Oh, dear.
So good, those guys. Tomorrow night,
true, sadly. Yeah, if you can't laugh about it, you just got to cry, aren't you? Number 3 at the end of the day. So, we've got to try and joke about it sometimes, because sometimes laughter is the best solution to it. So,
yeah, Lauren and Paul have done some great videos like that in that style as well. And this one hasn't really picked up, but I think it was because it had a really bad thumbnail, which didn't really, it was completely irrelevant. It was like newspaper front page, and it had nothing to do with that. But yeah, a really good video. David Barzay says, I also tend to agree with the idea that 30p Lee is what Rishi Sunak actually believes what the working class actually are. Yeah.
He doesn't even know what 30p is. He's never even seen like a 20p and a 10p before.
He probably could make a meal for 30p back in the 1970s. Probably last time he tried cooking a meal, maybe.
I don't even think he cooks.
No.
I'm gonna just put that on the record.
Right, should we go on to something a bit more uplifting?
Yeah, why not? Well, we need to uplift ourselves, don't we? Because it's not been a great week, has it? This week, has it? So this is a lovely story, guys. This is from Positive Outlook. They always highlight some great good news, which I've shared from their website in the past. So this one is a young woman raising a younger sibling is gifted with a new car after sharing her heartwarming story. So a young woman had the surprise of her life when she found out someone gifted her with a new car after sharing her story with a non-profit organisation. She's raising her 3 younger siblings on her own and really needed something to lift her spirits. However, she did not expect it would be this grand. Rachel Chavez is only 24 years old, but she's now responsible for the welfare of her 3 younger brothers aged 9, 15 and 17. She's been looking after them for the past year and a half. Though her parents are still alive, they are no longer capable of raising them and providing for their needs. At a young age, Rachel had to step up and help her parents, so she studied hard to become a pharmacy technician. She's working full-time to make ends meet and ensure her brothers are well taken care of. She's also got legal custody of her siblings a few months ago. I'm caring for them to give them a better future, provide them with what they need, a roof over their head, food, Rachel said. Our parents still see them, but they are working on their own health. I just wanted my brothers to have a stable household. Rachel was doing a great job raising her younger siblings all by herself and putting food on the table. She only had one dilemma. She had to do all this without a car. Her responsibilities are big enough, and not having a car made it even more challenging. Thankfully, she doesn't have to worry about it anymore. After sharing her story with a non-profit organisation called the Homeless Engagement Lift Partnership, HELP, they thought of giving her a new car to make her day a little easier. We just wanted to be there for her. We wanted to help her along her journey and help the boys and help lift her up, said Dawn Marie Rappard, founder of HELP. She's been taking the bus to work and school, and now she saves a lot more time and spend with her family. Rappard also shared that they had interviewed nearly 100 families and learned about their stories in hopes of finding the most deserving recipients of their gifts. Among all the families they are currently assisting, Rachel's story has warmed their hearts the most. They've learned that she was doing all her responsibilities without a vehicle, so that they thought a new car would help her and cheer her up. Last month, Rachel was bought an Arrowhead BMW to receive her gift. She thought she would be helping wrap presents for the other families, but she was shocked when she saw a new car for her. Seeing it that first view, I thought I was in a dream. It was like someone pinched me. This can't be real, she said. The brand new 2020 Honda Accord was donated by Arrowhead BMW, Jaguar Land Rover Arrowhead, and Volvo Cars Arrowhead. When we can give back, especially in such a great light with Rachel and her siblings, and it's local, it's impactful and it's a big deal for us, said Nathan Scoville, the general sales manager of Arrowhead BMW. Rachel is grateful for this life-changing present as it can help her and her siblings with a lot of things. That's a lovely picture there. My younger brother Daniel was talking about getting into football, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I'll be able to take him and go to the games, Rachel said. She cannot wait to use her new car to have fun with her siblings. I'm really excited because we'll be able to do anything we want, and I'm really looking forward to bonding them in a new way.
Do you want to see the video?
I don't know if there's music or ads in it. I haven't.
Should we just turn the sound down?
Yeah, you turn the sound down just to be.
Let's see if it'll let me. Oh, there we go. Mute.
Oh, it should. Could try it.
So moved by a Valley woman's story, they stepped up in a big way in hopes of enhancing her life.
Here's ABC 15's Cameron Pollard.
24-year-old Rachel Chavez brought to tears at Arrowhead BMW last month.
Oh my gosh, guys, I can't.
Shocked to learn she'd been given a new car after sharing her story with a nonprofit called Homeless Engagement Lift Partnership, or HELP for short.
Seeing it, that first view, like I thought I was in a dream.
For the past year and a half, she's housed and cared for her 3 younger brothers, ages 17, 15, and 9. Last September, gaining legal custody after their parents could no longer care for them due to health and financial issues.
So I'm caring for them to give them a better future, to provide them what they need, a roof over their head, food.
It's an incredible responsibility that didn't go unnoticed by HELP, who began assisting her family last year, donating presents for the holidays and supplying other resources as well.
It is tough on me, but you know, I'm a soldier, so.
She went to school to become a pharmacy tech, worked full-time, all while making sure Johnny, Daniel, and Mikey could leave their worries at the door.
For somebody that's 24 years old to take on that kind of responsibility and to know and to have that ambition to keep going.
Dawn Marie Rappaport with HELP says when they learned she'd been doing it all without a vehicle, it was time to give her a hand up.
We just want to be there for her. We want to help her along her journey and help the boys and help lift her up.
Thanks to a donation by Arrowhead BMW and their partner dealerships, HELP gave her this 2015 Honda Accord.
I like how it has seat warmers. You need it in this.
When we can give back, especially in such a in such a great light with Rachel and her siblings, and you know, and it's local, and you know, it's impactful. That's a big deal for us.
For Rachel, it's a life-changing gift, surely to open up new adventures for her family. I'm Cameron Polam, ABC 15, Arizona.
That's a great story.
Yeah. This, you know, this it's from the USA, Nico, but it's always nice to see some uplifting stories in the world.
Number 3 says,
I hope you guys enjoyed that story.
Yeah. Number 3 says, charity is so uplifting, says JRM, Jacob Rees-Mogg. Yeah, Grey Ghost Pencil. Sorry, Alice Downs says, Grey Ghost Pencil would love this not. No, I think he would. He would love this because it means that the government doesn't have to help out. She's doing all the work for that the government doesn't have to do, and companies are giving the car free, so the government doesn't have to help out with transport costs and things like that. So yeah, he would absolutely love that. He would just hope there was more of it, so he didn't have to pay taxes and give his tax money to people. There you go. Anyway, goodly things evenings. Everybody says Larry the cat. Hi, Larry.
Hello, so Larry. I hope you're well.
Nico DeSmith's here. Hi, Nico. House of Lord third reading. Oh, on the so that's on the protester bill, is it? Alistair says, how do the protest bill in the Lords, any amendments to it? And this is like its third reading in the Lords, apparently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. I think it got rejected in the House of Lords.
I think they took out 2 amendments, didn't they? They took out one about slow walking, and can't remember what the other one was. But there's 2 that they took out from the House of Lords, so I don't know whether they've been put back in again. This is a number 3 just to get them to watch Judy Justice, and they'll see there is no dream, just people suing. Oh, with the American Dream, yeah. Duke says, charity is a failure of government responsibility. Yes.
Yes, it is. We are aware of that. I mean, America is no different of their failures to do for people, but
yeah. But
sometimes we just need an uplift, guys. And there are, we know charities do great work. We do, we're very, like there are great charities out there all over the world that do wonderful things. And yes, of course, government should be taking responsibility. We're all aware of that, but
when it doesn't, somebody has to step in. And unfortunately, what the government or the Tories do is go, oh look, we don't need to worry about this because they're already stepped in and dealt with it. So charity can help.
Yeah.
Care in the community. That was Thatcher's version of that. I think what was Big Society was David Cameron's idea of that about that. But ironically, Margaret Thatcher said there was no such thing as society. So.
Oh,
anyway,
someone's lying there.
One of them's not right. I suspect both of them are wrong. Right. Should we move on to the next one? Another uplifting one, or should we do something funny in between? Oh no, we'll do that after.
We could do a funny one in between. We could do.
Do you want to? Well, we've got a funny story coming after this one, so
okay,
we'll go straight into this one. It's another uplifting story. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it? Because you've read all the stuff today.
Yeah, it's just the driver in London, Is it?
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I could read it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is from London, believe it or not. So London bus driver hailed as a top bloke after demonstrating exactly how to help blind commuters. So getting around London is hard enough when you rely on public transport, especially when trains and bus drivers are on strike. It can be even more challenging if you're having to do it while visually impaired. Public transport staff actually do have guidance on how they're supposed to help make the community easier for people who have physical disabilities, but unfortunately, as many people with disabilities have experienced, staff aren't always up to speed on the guidance. However, one bus driver in London has demonstrated how bus drivers should stop and pick up passengers who are blind. A video shared on social media showed the driver stopping in the middle of the road, helping a blind passenger board. I don't think this is the actual video, but this is just, if you want to play the clip, it's an example of a good bus driver basically.
This is this is. Have we got the video of the guy?
I don't think so, but if you wanted to show that, you could show that one.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just one of some good bus drivers here.
The sound off on that.
Don't know if it's maybe it is.
This is Route 17 towards the London Bridge.
Lovely.
You got seats on your right.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much.
About your path.
Thank you.
Oh, I saw this.
To London Bridge.
Very, very nice. I mean, the driver made it very clear what the bus was, where it was going for him.
Yeah.
The video caption questioned, how does a blind person hail a bus? Shows the driver stopping to pick up the passenger who waits on the curb holding the white cane. Answering his own question, the captain then charged to say the bus driver should stop when they see a long white cane or a guide dog. As the bus comes to a stop, bus driver is seen opening the doors and announcing the bus number and route. He then tells the passenger where to find a seat on the bus. The person behind the video was posting on TikTok said the driver did everything right. He stopped in front of me. He clearly announced the bus number and the route and gave clear directions to an available seat. People responded to this video were just as impressed with one say, "What a great bus driver! Gives our faith in humanity." Another person commented, "This is actually what they're supposed to do when they see a white cane or a guide dog, but I'm not sure all drivers would be bothered. This guy is good for sure." That is true. Unfortunately, there are some really bad bus drivers.
Yeah.
But someone else replied, "I've never seen a bus driver do this. Glad he was a top bloke." It's a nice story because bus drivers get a lot of stick as well from the public, when they do things. So it's nice to see a good story about a bus driver showing his care and remorse for the others and well-being. So I really like nice little story there for you guys as well.
I did see that video on that TikTok and was popped up on my on YouTube Shorts or something or Facebook. I saw that video the other day. It's really nice. Right, shall we? Colin from Portsmouth's been back on the phone. Shall we have a listen?
He's made a call. There's been a call from Colin in Portsmouth chat.
On the line.
Better listen.
Colin is in Portsmouth. Hello, Colin.
Why isn't Rishi Sunak letting Liz Truss have another go?
What, is it because he wants to get at least one thing right during his premiership, Colin?
Oh, you'd love it, wouldn't you, if Liz was thwarted by the left-wing economic establishment? Left-wingers such as Goldman Sachs, HSBC, and their double-crossing mole quasi-Kwarteng.
How was Liz Truss stitched up, though, Colin?
How? How did she expect that lot to be economically literate? They're left-wingers. I tell you what, she has since watched a YouTube video on these guys and her eyes have been well and truly opened. She wrote a comment under it, 4,000 words it was, and the Telegraph liked it so much, they put it on their front page.
Why do you want her to come back? She was a disaster, Colin.
Her Instagram account is lifeless now.
Right,
She hasn't posted for weeks.
No.
She used to dress up like Thatcher and take selfies in a tank. I loved it. There's nothing for me to look at there anymore.
Perhaps she's working too hard for her constituents to take any photographs now, Colin.
I don't think so, mate.
Yeah, you're
Rishi
right. Sorry.
Sunak, bring her back. She has unfinished business with that lettuce. The Daily Star cheated with an EU iceberg one, that never goes off. So we demand a British lettuce from a British greengrocer, one that goes off in 2 days. Give our Liz a fighting chance. Anyway, mate, thanks for having me on. Love to the family.
Love to the family, Colin. Love to the family.
Or spinach. That goes off as soon as you look at it. Bloody spinach.
Colin.
Oh, sorry, President. Bloody spinach. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, dude.
Right.
What on earth? This. Oh dear, oh dear. Those left wingers. Those
Goldman
damn
Sachs,
left
yeah.
wingers, chat. Oh,
Oh dear.
terrible left wingers.
We didn't go through the chat then, did we? So, yeah. Ginger says the bus driver's being praised for doing his job correctly. That says a lot about the rest of them. Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, this guy's obviously clearly had a few issues with other bus drivers not doing it correctly. So, but this guy's done a really good job. So, I think I'll ask my MP to raise a question in the House on my behalf. Just how are people able to protest effectively under new laws? Yeah. Michelle says, evening playing H2F3 and listening to the stream. I don't know what H2F3 is. Sorry.
Colin doesn't live in Portsmouth, says Stu. That's outrageous.
I am livid.
I'm disgusted by that comment.
Yeah. Pedestrian crossings in Bristol and elsewhere don't beep as they do in NL, etc. Very useful. Netherlands, sorry, number 3. They don't beep. The ones around where I live beep. I don't know why they don't beep. Yeah. Colin doesn't live. Loads to the family, Colin. Yeah. This isn't the
I think it's
I voted for.
Going back to that bus story. You know, that bus, London buses specifically, they have the sound, they have the voice box there as well, saying where the number and where it's going. And normally, when it normally calls out on the voice box of where the next bus where it's going to as well. So if if it's saying it's heading like Tesco something town centre or whatever specific, to highlight that. So obviously for those who can't hear, so I can't see. Sorry. So there is that point of view. That's not available all over the country, obviously. So
yeah, I think
there
you're
is
saying
that advantage for those in London.
Yeah, I think you're saying that it doesn't work on all buses as well. So you might get on a bus and then there's no. But I suppose if you tell the bus driver where you're going to, he should flag it up when you get close to it. To let you know. Hearts of Iron 3, my addiction, says Joe. Okay.
Okay.
Alex Steincare says vote lettuce.
We had a bit of stutter in there, so I think we should.
So according to this, it's not. Stream is healthy. We have no errors since 2137. So, yeah. Stu says it isn't a Pompey accent, it isn't a Portsmouth accent. Yeah,
it was. Right. It did drop off a little bit as I was talking.
Okay. It's not like I say. I've got all the stream health, which isn't showing any errors, and everything's saying excellent connection. So I'm not sure what's gone there.
Someone must be using up your internet. That's clearly what's going on.
It's my son. My son's probably doing stuff on his computer downstairs. I'll just quickly look on what my internet's connection's like. But
I think we got one more story, have we?
Yep. Oh yeah, it's not, my connection's not great.
Bit of a wacky one.
Yeah. Where is it now? Oh, I'll let you read this because you found this one as well. I haven't read anything this week, but I'll let you read it anyway.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wacky story. So it's not too long. Before we wrap it up, guys. This one's from Spain. Funny headline. So the court rules nudists can continue to walk the streets naked. Now, don't worry, guys. You're not going to see him fully naked. So I'm just going to save yourself that trouble. So a court in Spain has ruled that a man can walk around the streets naked if he wants, after previously having fined him for doing it. It would be something of an understatement to suggest that Alejandro Colmar likes being naked. The 29-year-old computer scientist likes being nude so much that he's been fighting against fines and legal actions to protect his rights to wander about with no clothes on. By the way, this is in Spain. This is not in the UK, just for the record. In the end, he won his battle as well, arguing that that he's not doing any of it as some sort of unusual sexual reason, just because he wants to and prefers nakedness. He claims that he has been attending nudist beaches in Spain since he was a child, but starting running around a few streets in his houses back in 2020. Palmer claims that nobody has a problem with it, and he's within his rights to do so. And to be fair to him, public nudity is not a crime for most of Spain under a ruling made in 1988. Although some places such as Barcelona and Valladolid do have rules against it, for the most part it is fine. It is certainly in Alijanko's hometown of Alienda. In the end, his case was upheld by the Spanish High Court in Valencia, who ruled that he had limited himself to remaining or circulating naked at difficult times in 2 different streets of Alienda, and his actions do not apply an alteration of citizen security, tranquility, or public order, according to reports from the Redchers. Even the court case was a bit controversial, with Colmar only turning up to one sitting with his shoes and socks on. He was denied entry to the court, only later admitted when he put some clothes on. For his part, Colmar said Colmar said that people have been broadly supportive of him, but they didn't stop him for incurring fines up to £2,500. On those fines, he says, the fines don't make any sense. They accuse me of obscene expedition. According to the directory, that implies sexual intent, and that has nothing to do with what I am doing. His attorney, Pablo Mola, said he was fined for violating some of the city laws of Valencia that covered extreme nudism, although it was not in conversation of those laws. He said it is understood that obscene
exhibitionism is to do that,
or to do really obscene acts. The mere fact of going naked, as we understand it, is a manifestation of his ideological freedom. The High Court in Valencia acknowledged that there is a legal vacuum in Spanish law surrounding public nudity. So,
wait, you missed the pun at the end. Alejandro
I'm not saying that.
Certainly exposed that, amongst other things. Yes,
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Lots of things on his bike.
I was struggling to find a funny story, guys, but so they still have lots of nudist species over in Spain, so they're a lot more leeway on it. But I'm sure there's some plenty of funny comments in the chat coming up as Lee is staring at them, aren't you?
Hang on. Number 3 says all shorts, no shorts. All shorts says I'm running naked. Yes, it was me.
Oh, there we go. Well, you had some time on your hands because you couldn't do any videos, to be fair.
Kendra says, Lee, tell your son it's dad on the internet only on Wednesday evenings. Yeah, I know, also words. All right, just going back to the important stuff.
I'm not going to put that question out there, Daily Blazo.
Does he use hard drives or floppy disks?
You said that, not me.
I don't know. Daily, I just hope that saddle's comfortable, that's all. Padded. Daily Blazo, aka we're not using that. So it's not Max. It's not Max. It's not Max because he hasn't got Mankini on, so it's definitely not Max.
No. You remember he has to wear a mankini, so that's not Max. But it might be a relative of Max potentially.
Could
so
be,
you could send that to him and ask him if he's had a Spanish relationship somewhere down that line, guys. So you can put that to him.
Xiao says being naked ain't nothing strange. Fair enough. Larry the Cat says get a saddle on that bike. Don't want to see him ride his bike. Brr. Nico Smith, Zhao's being naked in the shopping mall is yes. I don't think it's mean Zhao is, but being naked ain't nothing strange, says Zhao, and says being naked in the shopping mall is not if everyone is naked at the shopping, Nico. Why is it allowed on beaches and not in the city?
Don't do a video of you streaking again, all shorts, said Stu. You've been
I haven't seen Mr. Petroli for a long time. Jokes aside, my parents were very
You
diplomatic
should
about it.
You should go to Valencia. Actually, Valencia's a very nice city. I've been there. It's really
I
nice.
haven't been to Valencia. It's
When I
funny
was
because
younger.
Spain.
So,
Go on, sorry.
I don't recall going to the beach though, so
Right.
I don't recall that memory. It might have been swiped from me potentially when I was
Yeah.
younger.
I can't remember whether I've been to a nudist beach, but anyway, in Spain. But when I was younger, jokes aside, my parents were very diplomatic about it. There are places there. Please don't run around naked in a terrace and scare the neighbours. Yeah, this guy obviously didn't take the same advice from his parents that you did.
No, he's not done anything like that. So he's look, a nudist out there. We all know that. And he's not like one of those streakers that run across the baseball field, looking to get a moment in the sunlight. He wants to live his life, and as long as he stays within the boundaries, he's fine. And as he said, people haven't really come out and said, "Whoa, what are you doing that for?" So yeah, he appears to be fine. So
Daily Bar says, if he's naked shopping, where does he put his donuts?
I'm assuming he'll get a carrier bag and put the donuts in there. Mr. Blase.
Donuts. What about the donuts? They won't be naked.
If you want to let your imagination run wild, Mr. Blase, feel free to do so. But that's what I imagine. He will have a carrier bag with him.
As long as he needs to also make sure you've got plenty of sun cream over certain parts of his body that he wouldn't normally be. His white bits.
They don't have sun cream over there. They're used to that weather. So it's just his skin will turn red if it gets too hot. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Brings a new meaning to all
shall
of the
we
time.
wrap this up before we do the outro?
Yeah. Okay.
Just start by saying that
you've frozen. Oh, there you go. You're back now. Go on.
Yeah, so I just want to start to say apologies, guys, for the not been. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Apologies for the technical difficulty, guys. Hopefully, you guys
we can still hear. We can still hear you.
Heard us and understood what we were saying, and got to hear the videos.
Oh,
majority of it. So
we're breaking up.
So at least Earth to the Snowflake chat. Earth to the Snowflake chat.
We're back now. Yeah, go on. Oh, it's gone again. It's gone again.
Okay, well, I'll have to spin it a bit faster. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the show today. Apologies for the technical difficulties. If you can, guys, please hit the like button before you go on the way out. It would be very much appreciated. If you can, leave a comment on the video as well to help the algorithm as well. Any feedback whatsoever would be greatly appreciated. If you could also share the video across other social media platforms, that would be greatly appreciated as well, guys. The bell notification icon to inform us of when we go live. Of course, if we ever change that date, we will let you know. And it started again. Apologies again, guys. But we just got one more video for you guys before we go on our way out. But just before we do as well, final reminder, because I actually forgot to say it last week, we have a Discord server. Free Discord server, which is the Snowflake server, completely free for you guys to join. The links are in the description of the channel if you guys want to join us there. We do games nights, we do movie nights, and just last weekend we also had a music night, which we had absolutely a blast doing. So feel free to come on there for you guys to check out, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And the video's gone down as I was saying that.
I think we've just got a really. Oh my god, connection's gone ridiculously low. Just a second, let me see if we can just move the aerial or Wi-Fi.
Well, I think we're back, but for one moment. But I was just going to say, guys, there's lots of content on the Discord server, guys. Feel free to join. It's completely free. Don't cost you anything. If anybody has any trouble joining, just pop a message on my Twitter or at Leakhorn's Twitter. I'm at Regan Elite 1 on Twitter if you're having trouble joining the server. And it's Lee, I think we should jump straight into the outro video before the stream crashes again.
I think we got a bit better. It went right down to 18 megabits, which is not great. Right. So catch you later. Leave you with
thanks guys for watching. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Apologies for the problems. We'll try and get it fixed, make sure it's okay for next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Take
care everyone.
Bye.
Hi and welcome to Friday Night with Naveen, my first episode on Talk TV. First up, we're going to be doing an impartial interview with a wonderful, talented and dear friend of mine, Boris Johnson. Hi.
Hi, Ned.
Let's start by talking about Ukraine. You got the US and Germany to help. You're single-handedly saving them after your powerful article.
It happened. The article came. The Germans lifting the ban. Not to say it was my article, but
Wow, thank you. That explains it. Now, can I speak the unspeakable and take you to an unthinkable place? The button, well, if he presses it, and FYI, you can press mine anytime.
look, he won't. It's simple. He'll lose the support and put Russia into a deep freeze.
Can I just ask, you're pretty close to Zelenskyy. I mean, what is that relationship?
Look, Nads, we got on okay. We met in London and we hit it off.
But people advised you against getting involved with him and you still did. You spent a lot of time with him and not as much with me.
You need to leave this alone.
There were lots of people who warned you against the relationship.
Nads.
What's he got that I haven't? Am I not exotic enough? Does he do everything? Because I will.
No, you're jealous. Let it go.
Now, I know you. You aren't a party person. You're not good at small talk. We just get down to the nitty-gritty right away.
Well, you know, Nads.
Now, I want to be provocative here. People might not think that I'm challenging you enough. So question, do you think it was wrong to be an absolute hero and focus on saving people's lives rather than checking if people were having a party?
Look. Anyone who thinks I was at a party is out of their mind.
I know you're innocent. And now, so do they. By the way, there's a party in my pants and you're invited. Well, he's very modest. What an eye-opening interview. He's saving the world. Let's debate this. I like that you disagreed for a moment about Zelenskyy and the warnings about Boris getting involved. He should still be Prime Minister. I mean, he's great. I disagree. It was the people around him that made him great. Me, I made him brilliant.
Yes, I mean, you all did great.
You rolled out the vaccines. The death rate in the UK was still quite high. There is an argument for the things he did wrong. You're wrong. Boris is the best. It's good to weigh it up, though. I just think that the Conservatives' time may be up. In '97, we got spat at on the streets. People hated the Conservatives, but now people don't do that anymore. I mean, that's fantastic. Look how far we've come. I just think, shut up and agree with me. Let's chat to Boris about his paintings of me. I mean, cows. So, Boris, how do you Netflix and chill? I'll share my password.
I paint cows. My plan is to master the cow. Do you know what the back of a cow's neck is called?
No.
The wither. How about where the milk comes out?
Tell me.
The udder.
Oh, you made me shudder. Paint me like one of your French girls, wearing this, wearing only this. That's the end. Oh, I nearly wet myself with all the excitement.
Thanks for making me come on the show.
Such an informative interview. Cheers. Well, that's it, everyone. To the pub. Bye.
Oh, good God almighty.
That was brilliant. Right, have a good week. See you later.
What got me
Good night,
was that
guys.
Bye.